9:17 p.m. There is no better time to start and execute a podcast that has to be live in 8 hours, 12 hours max. I do it early for the freaks who get up early and exercise at 5 a.m. And though I have nothing in common with you, I have sympathy for your lifestyle. But the morning people, the early worm gets the bird, the early bird gets the worm. Those people, they don't seem to have sympathy for the night owls get to have fun, or whatever the equivalent is. Now, am I mad? Sure. Are we going to get playfully aggressive toward people? Yeah, that's what tonight's about, because I'm hot off a comedy show. And not just any comedy show, but a comedy show filled with these rotten apples. Also, I was supposed to record this podcast about, an hour and a half ago, but upon parallel parking back into my house, I found a woman passed out on the street and then had to call an ambulance. Do I want to get into that more? Perhaps. Breathe in. Welcome to What the Fuchs with Jess Fuchs. Now breathe out. And scream. Because here's what's pissed Jess off this week. I think what I said does summarize the experience. I was reverse parking. I saw what I thought was a garbage bag full of clothes on the floor, and I couldn't see anything because it's pitch dark. It was like 8 o'clock at the time. I reverse back, and as soon as I reverse in to be parallel with her, I notice it's not a donation bag, a donation/bag, it's a she/her. So I then proceed to go get my dad, because the last time I rescued someone from the street, he almost attacked me when I scared him, because I was like, "Are you okay?" And he was so drug fucked. And then at one point he fell and smashed his head. And an ambulance did come and get him and whatever. But so I was too scared. Also, it's always good to give your dad a task. You know, at a certain point, they do run out of things to do. That's why they're always puttering around their house, even on a Sunday when they're supposed to be just doing free play. You know, the weekend is free play, but dads don't have a sense of free play. That's why they are so serious about going to church or religious ceremonies when you're young, because they want to give themselves and you something to do. I stand by all of that. My dad has nothing to do on a regular day. He is constantly needing tasks. And you know who assigns tasks? The women. And I won't apologize for that. And maybe that is, I don't care. So I went and got my dad and I said, "Hey, you want to throw on a pair of slip-on shoes that you wear in the dead of winter and come help me make sure that this girl isn't dead next to my car?" Anyway, we call an ambulance. They came. When I say she's fine, I mean she's not dead. I have no idea what's going to happen to her next, but they did cart her away on a ambulance bed. What's it called? The paramedic bed. I didn't have to look anything up last week, and maybe that's because I wasn't saying anything of substance. But when do I say anything of substance? Ambulance bed. And you're all screaming, probably staring at a gurney. Is that what it's called? A stretcher, gurney, litter, or pram. Well, pram feels a bit patronizing, since that's what Australians call a stroller. A stretcher, a gurney. Gurning is also funny. Well, that's gurning, which is what you do with your teeth when you're fucked up. Also, I am wearing a bright red lip because my hair is dirty. And getting dressed when your hair is dirty is kind of like playing a chess game with yourself of like, if your hair's clean, you can go makeup free. If your hair's dirty, you can do a slick back, but you need something else, whether that's a bold eye or a lipstick. If you're fat, you need... I'm kidding. That's just the rules that I play with myself every morning. You can dress however you fucking want. In this space, in this community, I encourage you to wear whatever you want. But here's the other thing, and we're jumping around today. At some point, I will maybe follow one train of thought, but if not, hey, focus up. Get those. Don't take a Dexy. I reckon half of you have ADHD. I believe that whatever you are is what you then attract in your audience. Like my friends who are all comedians, when I meet their audiences, it's so funny. They're like another version of the person on stage, which I guess makes sense. Like we all sympathize with something. Anyway, the point is you're all the same as me. So you can all follow this train of thought. I've never had anyone message me and be like, "Whoa, I can't follow whatever shit you're on." I think you're all on my level, if not worse. And God bless the ones of you who are out there fighting a worse fight than me. So I think, and this is going to be a pretty, I'm happy if the room is split on this. If you call an ambulance, because you're doing a good Samaritan thing, if I'm being a good guy, I should get a full report of what happened to that girl. And yeah, not from a place of, I mean, I want to know she's fine, but I also would want to know if someone dies. If I call an ambulance and someone dies, I want to know. I want to know. Yeah, that's from a fully nosy standpoint, from a nosy neighbor standpoint. And am I crazy to think that that's fair play? Obviously, there are so many asterisks to that, and I don't really want to unpack them because the time is ticking and I still have to edit this and upload this for you 5 a.m.ers. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to go out on a pirate's ship, walk the plank. I'm going to go out on a whim, and a plank and say, if you're a 5 a.m. jogger, you're not having ADHD. You've got your shit together. So what do I want to talk about today? I'm coming hot off of a show. Now, I've had a string of shows in the past, let's call it 6 years, where there is constantly, bring back toxic positivity. And let's get into what toxic positivity is to make sure that I'm going to tell you what I believe it to be. The criticism that it feels like it garners, the toxic positivity movement, is this idea of everything always needing to be okay. Wake up. It is. I don't want to hear about your shitty life. If I'm your friend, I'm in. I'm in for a penny. I'm in for a pound of your shit. But if I'm engaging with you on a casual Tuesday, I don't want you coming into this space with your bullshit. Put on a fucking smiley face. Sorry, I'm done. I am done. And maybe because the job I have, which, okay, let's attack this kind of in a multitude of ways. Let's lay the groundwork. The groundwork is thus. I wish I had a third word. Such, thus, and no, got nothing. Sorry. I'm moving too fast for my brain and my brain's not catching up, which is usually when I say my worst, when I get myself in trouble. But now, this would take place in a workplace, in a family, in a unit, in any place where humans are unfortunately dwelling together. I don't choose to be around these people that I perform with. Some of them, absolutely, any day of the week. I love my people. They are my friends, and they have transitioned from my regular peers and colleagues to actual friends that I would keep if I quit tomorrow. However, I am also around these absolute idiots who I would never give the time of day to if I didn't have a microphone held to my temple like a gun and being like, these are the people you've got to be around in order to have time on stage to get your jokes right for the people who will pay to come and see you on an individual hourly basis. Cue, thank you, banner drop behind me to the people who have come to my show in Sydney, in Melbourne. Anyone in Sydney, please come on the 21st of June. A quick soft plug as we're moving through the topic. However, there are so many people that I would never, ever, ever give the time of day to that I unfortunately have to see on a regular basis because they too feel that they should be pursuing this job. And let me tell you, all of these people I'm about to describe, talentless. Let me tell you, gun to my head, I wouldn't put them in a TV show. I wouldn't go on the road with them traveling. I wouldn't compliment them because they are the worst. And these people are the negatives. Let's just refer to them as the negatives. Now, hey, am I a positive? No. I'm somewhere playfully in the middle. I will complain, but I always believe that my complaining comes with a hearty dose of laughter. Don't know what that's about. I just think because maybe I have good perspective on like the grand scheme of things, my life is pretty fucking sweet. So when I am complaining, it's with a bit of a wink and a bit of a nod and a bit of a sorry to my therapist that my problems aren't this big, but they seem to, hang on my shoulders. But these people come in with an attitude and come in with a darkness and come in with just a negativity that absolutely fills the room with dark sludge. And there are a couple people in particular that I'm referring to. I am thinking of one person now. I will keep them genderless. However, I think you could maybe take a swing on what sort of person would come into a room who's kind of new to the said room and just kind of suck the air. Maybe it would be a non-binary person. Maybe it would be a woman. Maybe it would be a man. Maybe it would be a rat in a trench coat. So you can take a leap, decide what gender, what not gender, what this, what that this person is, but they suck. in every language, in every universe, in every timeline, this person sucks. You could say, oh my God, it is the perfect weather. I think the whole thing with temperature is like a room should be set at 22 for like perfect temperature. Now, I might just be making that up, but let's say that's the perfect temperature that heaven exists at, and the water is flowing and the wine is delicious and the food is ample and the bosom is ample and everything is perfect. They would find a way to make it negative. And I've had situations where you show up to work, I'm going to call it work because we would have all had that. You show up to work and maybe someone who is usually pleasant or fine or inoffensive is in a mood. And whether they get over it or you maybe have a nice conversation that reveals to you the softer, sympathetic side of this person who has their own turmoil. We all do. We all live in our worlds which have problems, whatever. But when it is a constant pattern of negative behavior and negative worldview, I am bored by you. I am utterly bored. And this is where I believe toxic positivity should be reintroduced into the social life. If I'm not your friend, be positive or say fucking nothing. If I'm your friend, I'm all in on the worst parts of your life. That's the point of friendship. That's what we handshake. We spit and we handshake on when we say, hey, let's be buddies. Let's be friends. But when you are just someone who comes into a space and just brings the most toxic, negative, black cloud behavior, it is unacceptable. And I am so done with those people. Tonight really was the nail in the coffin for my patience with people who bring in this darkness and this gross negativity. And they always think of themselves as superior. I don't know what it's masking. Probably an inferiority complex. I don't really care. Because I'm done. I am done. I'm over it. Bring me the best version of you. And honestly, you know what's fucked up? That negative version is probably the best version because I'm not this person's friend. I'm not their family. I'm nobody to them, which means that I'm probably getting the best version because you always give the grumpiest version to the people that you know will love you no matter what. That's why people treat their partners like shit sometimes or their parents like shit. And that's not making an excuse. I don't think that's cool. But I think that's insane to think about the fact that I don't know this person and they're bringing the worst or they're bringing the best version of themselves forward, and even that still stinks to high heavens. Bring back toxic positivity when it's in that anywhere from, you've got your first line of defense. First line of defense are your besties, are your closest confidants. They can get whatever version of you need to put out there. Obviously with the asterisk that you're a good person, all this shit. The second line of defense and on. I don't want your negative bullshit around me. I don't want to be shotgunning the negative shit that's smoking and coming out of your mouth, that's leaking, the garbage, the rotten sewage that's oozing out of your orifice because you don't like yourself. Go to therapy. Leave me the fuck alone. I don't know if I've had a good rant like that in a couple episodes. Wow. I feel like I need to leave you with some sense of positivity around this, but I have none. The only thing I want is toxic positivity reinstated, reinstalled, and put directly into my veins. If you don't know me personally, don't bring your shit near me. But the problem is, they're not bringing their shit. It's not like they're coming at me with something that can make me sympathetic to them. They are just being a shitty fucking person because that's who they are. They're negative and they're gross and they suck. So my complaint is just about people with a bad vibe. It's a stinky vibe and I don't want that vibe near me. Bring back toxic positivity when it is superficial around me. That's what I'll say. If you're a close friend, I don't give a shit. Show me all your worst. I'm fine with it. Let's lock in. After a certain amount of time that we've been friends, you get a long string with me. But if we don't know each other, don't just shut the fuck up. I'm trying to think of an example that will prove to you that this person sucks, but every example is so minute and it's really, and I think everybody knows someone like this. Close your eyes. I don't care what you're doing. If you're at the gym, close your eyes. If you're driving, close your eyes. If you're walking, close your eyes. Wherever you are, close your eyes. And just think about, I'm closing my eyes with you. And just think about the person who you really can't articulate their just terrible, stinky vibe. You can't articulate it to somebody because maybe there are a couple little examples, but someone would hear them and be like, oh, that's not that bad. He sounds fine. But when someone meets this person and engages with this person, god damn do they hate them. And that's what this person is like. And you might be like, oh, maybe he gets under your skin. Yeah, he gets under my skin. I can't connect with this person. And let me tell you, I can connect with a lot of people. I can usually find something I find really funny or engaging or interesting about almost anyone I meet, because humans fascinate the fuck out of me. Why you chose to wear what you wear, why you chose to say what you say, what your sense of humor is like. I feel like I am genuinely so intrigued by like pretty much anyone I meet, and it takes a lot to maybe truly not like a person. If they do something terrible, obviously I'm in on hating them, I'm in on slicing and dicing that neck, I'm like swiftly do something to them. But if it's almost like a neutral or like an indifference, it's pretty hard to make me really not like someone based on just their vibe. And this person has done that. So I want to say, hey, salute to you, brother. So hats off to you. You suck the air out of every room you come into. And I'm talking about it on Close Friends. I'm talking about it on this podcast. Okay, so that was about 18 minutes on hating someone. If that doesn't fulfill the brief of what the Fuchs, I don't know what to feed you guys. You know what I mean? I've just put a buffet. Well, not really. I've put one huge chocolate mud cake like Matilda, and you guys should be gobbling that shit up, okay? I am both... Who made that cake in Matilda? Because I think I would most likely be the closest... I'm the head woman. What's her name? Miss Trunchbull. Let's call it what it is. I think there's moments I want to be Miss Honey, but I'm not. I think there's parts of my life where maybe I am Matilda, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really know if I know what the show Matilda's about. And then I'm now starting to wonder if I'm thinking Matilda is actually Annie, but Annie is Matilda. And then now ultimately where I'm at mentally is thinking, I wish I had one name. And I think about that a lot. I think there is something iconic to just the one name gang. Cher, Oprah, Oprah, fuck, you get it. Rihanna. Let's all say one on three. 1, 2, 3. Beyonce. You know what I mean? There's power. Now, what was I just about to look up? Who made the cake in Matilda? I don't think anyone really cares about that. I'm gonna go on a limb, a pirate's ship plank and a whim, and say no one gives a fuck about that in this chat. If you do, let me know. I'll look it up for you and send it to you one-on-one. Now, I mentioned last week, if anyone's listening, that was the first episode back in a while. I had just come off a little family holiday, but this holiday was kind of cursed from the beginning, I want to say. Just kind of the top notes, the things you can mostly see from the overall holiday. So we went up north. It's winter in Australia at the moment. If you're an international listener, hello, how are you? Imagine that said in whatever language is your first language or whatever accent you have, e.g. American, e.g. British, I don't know. And so we had this trip planned for a while. My family started a tradition during COVID times, or maybe just before. It must have been after COVID or something. For my sister's birthday, since everyone's so busy and I was living overseas and stuff like that, we started a little tradition where we would go away every year in May on her birthday for like 2 or 3 nights somewhere. And usually it used to be a little bit of a longer drive, like we've gone to, 4-hour drive, but that just... I mean, we're all adults, but we were like, are we almost there? It was painful. So now we kind of cap it at about an hour and hour and a half. My sister also has a kid now, so we got to go somewhere closer, so, it's easier. And the ones in the past have been good. I've definitely complained about them, being shoved in a bunk bed, but thank God my parents consume my content like it is air itself, and they are taking notes. As parents, they're pretty conscious parenting from the feedback they're getting on this podcast, because on the drive over, or even a few days before, my dad, who found the house, the house we rented, he even said to me, there's no bunk beds. There's no bunk beds. So, he's listening. It's taking notes. Hello, Peter. Thank you for your service. So we go to this house, and the drive was fine, but it has been rainy as fuck in New South Wales recently, and so it's bucketing down. I mean, it's poor. And we get to this place. I'm going to sleep. There's 2 floors. The bottom floor, I was going to sleep on the bottom floor. And then my brother and his wife were coming the next day or a few days later. They were also going to sleep on the bottom floor. And then my sister was sleeping upstairs with her husband, with the kid. And then next to them is my parents. And they did that so that the kid can wake up early and then my parents can help. And then my sister gets to have a little sleeping because she is pregnant with twins. As some of you know from listening to this, or just, I don't know, she's pregnant with twins. I think I'm going to do an entire episode on twins because they scare me and they are coming. And these ones are identical and I think that's disgusting. And yeah, do I say that lightly? For sure. You know I say most of this lightly. I don't say much thinking. I don't say much taking. I mean, in 10 years, someone mining through all of these videos will find something to cancel me on, for sure. Am I sorry? 100%. Am I sorry retroactively? For sure. Am I sorry in the moment? Yeah. I'm sorry I don't know more. I'm sorry I'm not smarter than I am. Can I do much about it? I don't know. I used to buy books thinking I'll read to educate myself, and then I just couldn't sleep, so I started reading Smart. And then the Smart got too kind of, I don't know. So yeah, I'm sorry about a lot of things. Let's just start with that. Let's start and end with that. I'm a big sorry. Every episode I'm going to apologize for whatever I'm going to say, whatever I have said, and whoever I am and whoever I'll become. But the point is, we go on this holiday and so I'm sleeping downstairs. I'm by myself. Night 1 passes. No worries. We're all good. We're having fun. Basically a family holiday, at least this style, is we wake up, I make breakfast for the family, we clean up, we sit around for 30 minutes, my mum starts cooking lunch, a full lunch. Then we eat the lunch, we sit around some more, we do the cleanup, then we just start doing dinner again. And essentially you pass about 4 or 5 days of your life that way. Is it relaxing? No. I'll tell you no. Because you're thinking everyone's always puttering around, preparing for the next meal, cleaning. So do I feel rejuvenated? Absolutely not. Did I get family time in? Absolutely. I don't think family time is relaxing. I don't think a family holiday should be considered a holiday. I think family holiday is really just a family, how do we brand it? Excursion. We went on an excursion because you learn on an excursion, someone gets lost on an excursion, shit happens on an excursion. That's what I went on, a week-long family excursion. A holiday, to me, is sitting in a dark room, rocking back and forth with the door locked and no one having access to me. That's a true holiday, a holiday of the mind, body, and spirit. If I'm around people I know and love dearly who have flaws that I see, that is not a holiday. I need a holiday from everybody. Everything else is work. If I'm around you, I am tortured. Know that. I love it. I'm a cuck for it. But I am tortured. Every moment I'm not by myself, I am in pain. It is what Edward feels when he is around Bella smelling her blood. That's me around a human being who isn't me. When I'm solo, oh, I'm flying. Oh, I'm feeling good. As soon as you add a second person in the equation, two's a crowd. So we go on this holiday and we're having a good time. We're cruising. However, it's been raining a lot. And we're in a place that ultimately gets flooded, which sucks. And it was fucked. It was actually kind of scary because obviously living where I live now, there's houses compact next to each other. But whenever we travel, we like to pick a place that's got a bit of a yard. And so the dogs can run around and we can roll around on the grass. That was last year's one. Frankie couldn't really do much yet, my sister's little kid. So we just spent most of the days literally laying out on the grass, rolling around. Happy days. That's pretty fun. But because it was raining so much, it was very hard to entertain her and we couldn't really go out too much. So what can you do? And then, so in the middle of, I want to say the second night, I got a text from my dad being like, are you awake? And I was like, here we go. What drama is going on? And he was like, I think you have to come upstairs and sleep upstairs because I think it's going to flood in the house overnight because the water was rising in the backyard so much that we were like, fuck, it might actually come inside the house. So I packed all my shit, I moved up to the bedroom, but now I'm getting all the sounds and experience of being a mother, which I already get on my day-to-day. We'll unpack that at another point, maybe in the twins episode. But so I'm lying next to my sister's room, can hear Frankie yap yap yap. She loves to chat. She's like a robot. She'll like talk till she like powers down, which in some ways, yeah, it's me. The only difference between this episode stopping and going is me pressing the off button. When this shuts down, I'm yapping to nobody. Again, on holiday by myself yapping. So now we're almost in the flood. I'm like, what sweet bloody Jesus Bible Noah shit is this? And then basically, so we've got the flood. Then Warwick, my sister's husband, we don't know how, but he gets feral, horrific food poisoning for 36 hours. So now I'm surrogate father because, you know, raising a child takes a village. So now I'm surrogate father, fine. And then there's a bunch of other little things, but nothing major. You know, my mum, as she's gotten older, she's more of a health conspiracy theorist. Love that. Like, for example, well, not conspiracy theorist. Let's call it a nut, a health conscious person, which, like, you know, let's celebrate that. But it's annoying for me when I go and look at the nachos we're eating for lunch and she's put like a little spattering. And I went up to her and I said, now that nachos, does that have a Suzanne amount of cheese or does that have like a normal human amount of cheese? And she goes, oh, it's got a Suzanne amount of cheese. I said, well, you better open up that gate, honey. You better open up those gates to that oven because I will be showering that shit in cheese. If I'm eating soggy chips, you know they're going to be coating in that greasy cheese. So little things like that. Again, not a problem, but you know, at least I'm active in this family holiday. I'm finding solutions. I'm grating cheese, you know? So my brother and his wife come for a little bit, then they leave and we have one more night or two more nights and we're having a good time now. It's the last night. It's 7:00. We've watched Pitch Perfect on one of the nights. We watched Encanto on one of the nights. We watched Tangled. Very overrated. I'd say Tangled did nothing for me. But we've watched these movies. We have a great time throughout the week. And we're at our last night. And now we've watched, I think we just finished Tangled. We're sitting around and it's almost bedtime for Frankie. And the power goes out. And I was like, God damn, this holiday is cursed. We were not supposed to be here. We are being chewed up and spat out by Mother Nature or whoever runs this Airbnb. Anyway, so it's about 7:30. My dad, there's no reception in the house. You only have Wi-Fi, so we can't, because everything's cut out, we literally can't flush a toilet. We can't go on the internet to be like, is this a power outage in the whole area? Is this us? I thought maybe because of the flood, some shit's been damaged. So my dad goes for a drive 10 minutes away to get some reception, finds out that it's a power outage in the entire area with an unknown source. So that also could take hours. Anyway, so he comes back to the house and now we're all yapping. What do we do? Debating, do we leave? And I said, hey, everyone focus up. Look at me. Eyes on me, everybody. We are leaving. I said, it's 7:30. It's pitch dark. It's cold. You've got a child. We've got no reception. God forbid the man who hasn't stopped shitting and vomiting himself has something more severe happen or this baby trips over. What's the plan? Also, we don't know what the problem is. The lights could come back on. They said the power could come back on around 10:30. But I was like, I ain't waiting around for 3.5 hours. It's fucking cold. And we were supposed to leave tomorrow morning at like 10. Let's just leave now. Anyway, now my family, nobody is a night person except for me. My sister's got diagnosed narcolepsy. My dad probably has it as well. He can fall asleep anywhere, but he's like a dog in that he can hear and still pay attention to what's going on. I've never seen anything like it unless you're talking about canines. So I was then panicked that we would have 3 car crashes on the way home because no one driving was a night person. So anyway, we packed the whole house. Frankie thought it was an adventure. She had no sense of what's going on. To be a kid with no idea, God, it's a beautiful thing. Pack up, we're driving home. I keep calling to my dad and mum who are driving to make sure that they're all good in the car. They're not falling asleep at the wheel because after, 30 years plus of being married, what small talk are they making on the drive back for 90 minutes? Anyway, so we're yapping. Me, my sister, and Warwick are driving back with Frankie. Frankie's fast asleep. The most interesting thing on the drive back had to have been fascinating decision by this gentleman. On the left hand, so we're driving on a highway and we see a truck stopped in like a stopping bay. And he is standing behind the truck, with his asshole out and a cup of water in his hand, douching his asshole on a highway. Now, here's the thing. God knows what happened to this guy, and I wish him nothing but the best. But what I'm going to say to you is it's nighttime. High beams are on. We're driving, barreling down this highway so we can see you, and you're washing your asshole at the back of your car. Go on the side. Go at the front. Anywhere else is better than the back. You're giving a full view of your behind on the behind of your truck. It doesn't even make sense. If you need light, go to the high beams at the front of your car. Then at least people have to crane their neck back to get a sense of who's going back there. The imprint of his ass lies deep in my retina. I can see him. I can feel him. He was holding a cup and he was swishing and washing in between his crack. I mean, anyone doing that's got to be a little desperado. So, hats off to him. I hope he's somewhere safe and happy and handling the trauma from that event. But I don't even think he has trauma from that event. That's how confident he was about his crack. Wouldn't you open the passenger door, stand in the passenger door and wash your asshole there? On the side, the less... it just didn't make any sense. I was like, is this a mirage? I'm a night owl, so by 10 p.m. I'm not hallucinating yet. But I'll tell you what, it felt like it. All right, now those are the two things I want to talk about. I think we've hit our stride on this episode in some ways. I think coming right off of a hot interaction with an annoying person and right out of the gate, coming off of, a family holiday, lots to say. This is so fucking random. So I'm going to go to London in July. If you've ever seen something that I wear and you live in Australia and you're like, oh, I like that outfit, I have had to condense my clothes because I can only take a certain amount with me to the UK. And I don't want to hold on to stuff that I love, but I don't have the space and I don't want to put it in storage and stuff when I travel. So I'm selling a bunch of my amazing clothes on Depop for super cheap just because I don't want to, I will donate whatever I don't sell, but if I can make some money to help me with my fucking trip, God willing. So if you've ever liked anything, I have jackets, I have blazers, I have I don't even know what's the point of telling you this, but I'm telling you, just in case. And if you live in Sydney or you know me, I can literally give you the clothes without the fee for postage, because postage is fucking expensive. What the hell is that? Me being a boomer right now, things used to cost 20 cents. All the stories my dad says, my grandfathers say, things cost 20 cents. It costs 15. If I wanted to ship this jumper I'm wearing, it would probably cost $20. What the hell are you talking about? Anyway, that's enough old woman shit from me today. Thanks for listening. Again, a little soft plug. June 21st, I will be at the Comedy Store doing my final show in Sydney for the rest of 2025. This show has been so much fun. So if you are around, please do come. If you're not around, please do send people. I still have tons of tickets left. And now I am in my full promoting mode for the next 2.5 weeks. So forgive me for that. But send people, please, God. We've had a lot of fun this episode. Okay, thanks for listening. It's 9:50 p.m, but you'll be listening to this at 5 a.m. or whatever time you're listening to it. So best of luck. Love ya. See ya. Bye. I don't know who this is coming out of me, but it's a ghost. See ya.